Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Canto, Chapter 9, text number 36. Maitreya Uvacha Na vai mukundasya padaravindayo Rajojushastata bhavadrushak janaha Vanchanti tad dasyam riteiritam atmano Yadrichaya lebda manaha samriddaya. Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada Jai. The great sage Maitreya continued, My dear Vidura, persons like you, who are pure devotees of the lotus feet of Mukunda, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who can offer liberation, and who are always attached to the honey of his lotus feet, are always satisfied in serving at the lotus feet of the Lord. In any condition of life, such persons remain satisfied, and thus they never ask the Lord for material prosperity. Purport. The Bhagavad Gita Lord says that He is the supreme enjoyer, the supreme proprietor of everything and anything within this creation, and the supreme friend of everyone. One who knows these things perfectly is always satisfied. The pure devotee never hankers after any kind of material prosperity. The karmis, however, or jnanis or yogis, endeavor always for their personal happiness. Karmis work day and night to improve the economic condition. Jnanis undergo severe austerities in order to get liberation. And yogis also undergo severe austerities by practicing the yoga system for attainment of wonderful mystic powers. A devotee, however, is not interested in such activities. He does not want any mystic powers, or liberation, or material prosperity. He is satisfied in any condition of life as long as he is constantly engaged in the service of the Lord. The Lord's feet are compared to the lotus, wherein there is a saffron dust. A devotee is always engaged in drinking the honey from the lotus feet of the Lord. Unless one is freed from all the material desires, he cannot actually taste the honey from the Lord's lotus feet. One has to discharge his devotional duties without being disturbed by the coming and going of material circumstances. This desirelessness for material prosperity is called nishkama. One should not mistakenly think that nishkama means giving up all desires. That is not possible. A living entity is eternally existent and he cannot give up desires. A living entity must have desires. That is a symptom of life. When there is a recommendation to become desireless, it is to be understood that this means that we should not desire anything for our sense gratification. For a devotee, this state of mind, nisprihaha, is the right position. Actually, every one of us already has an arrangement for our standard of material comforts. A devotee should always remain satisfied with the standard of comforts offered by the Lord. As stated in the Isha Upanishad, Tena tektena bhunjitaha. This saves time for executing Krishna consciousness. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. So the standard of a pure devotee who is materially desireless because of being satisfied with the taste of the honey of the lotus feet of the Lord. That is being explained by Maitreya Rishi here, pointing out to Vidura himself that you are an example of that. In any condition of life, such a person remains satisfied, and absolutely there is no question of asking for any material prosperity. This state of a pure devotee is only possible, as it is explained here, if he is tasting the devotion to the lotus feet of the Lord. Charana Ashraya. The lotus feet of the Lord gives eternal shelter to the living entity who is surrendered unto him. So a pure devotee is always in the consciousness of completely surrendering to the Lord as belonging to him. So all these feelings, all this consciousness does not come unless one understands his constitutional position as the servant of the Lord. As long as one thinks, I am this body, or even if one thinks I am just spirit, I am Brahman, still this does not come. This state of consciousness or Krishna consciousness comes only if one understands that I am an eternal servant of Krishna. Not only I am Brahman, I am part and parcel of Parabrahman. Part and parcel. Parcel means you cannot separate it. That is the realization of the Surupa of the Jiva. I cannot be separated from the Lord. I can only forget I am separate from the Lord. But existentially, I am Amsha of Krishna. Existentially, Krishna feels that you are my part and parcel. Jiva also feels that he is part and parcel of Krishna. So all these other desires of jnanis, yogis, the desire for or karmis, desire for material prosperity, desire for liberation, and desire of yogis for mystic powers, all these are coming not out of realization I am servant of Krishna, but it is coming out of the realization of their ignorance that I am independent of Krishna. Jnanis struggle to become detached from matter because they realize one half of the truth, that material energy, I am not the material energy. And material energy is always entangling me and is frustrating me because I am spirit and matter has all these qualities. So he has a material desire. Again, Krishna is not coming into picture because by observing, by experience, he is seeing it's all suffering. So I am spirit. So those who even understand their substance, the substance of the soul is Brahman, is spirit. But that alone is not enough. You have to wake up and understand, realize our function. Self-realization means understanding the substance and function of the soul. So impersonalist jnanis, their partial realization of their substance as eternal. I don't die, I have no beginning, I have no end, I am not this body, etc. Now, because they do not understand, or they are not fortunate to get the mercy of a pure devotee of the Lord, to understand that I am Brahman, but I am a person, part and parcel of the Supreme Person, Krishna. That way, in terms of quality, I am Krishna. I am not matter. Krishna's quality is Satchidananda. I am one with Krishna in the quality, but I am a tiny part and parcel. Now a person who understands this, why will he struggle for liberation? Because the moment he understands his part and parcel of Krishna, he engages in loving service of the Lord. Because Brahman, normally the impersonalist only understand that Brahman is impersonal. Nirguna Brahman. It has no identity, it has no thinking, feeling, willing, doing, desiring, nothing. As Prabhupada says, that all this desirelessness, how do they say desirelessness? The impersonalists say desirelessness means the person who desires itself doesn't exist. Identity means, personality means, I means, still you are in Maya. God means you are still in Maya. There is no God, there is no I. There is only one Supreme Spirit. So this is that. So when such people, they preach that you should become desireless. But Vaishnavas preach that no, you are a person. Body is not the person. Your subtle body is not the person. Gross body is not the person. The personal characteristics of this body, this subtle body and gross body is coming because of the soul. Because the soul identifies with that body, therefore this body can think, feel, will, etc., etc. Desire everything. Our material mind can desire, all because of the identification of the soul with the material mind-body system. Being, desiring, thinking, feeling, willing, seeing, doing. Being means being an identity. All these things are that of the nature of the soul. Because all these things in the material world, whatever you be, whatever you see, whatever you desire, whatever you think, feel, will, whatever you do, whatever you experience, is all frustrating. Therefore, they say that these qualities are all of personal qualities, means dukkha. So God is impersonal, I am impersonal, there is no God, there is no me. Impersonal means there is no two Vyaktis. So this is a mistake they fall into. Whereas Chaitanya Mahaprabhu teaches us that I am not just Brahman. I am eternal servant of Krishna. You see the difference? Mame vamsha jivaloke jiva bhuta sanatana. That amsha, the impersonalists argue that it is an impersonal amsha. That is exactly what we are saying, they will say. Amsha means merges with the Purna. Like that. So there is only Purna ultimately. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, no, you are not the body, you are spirit, but you are the eternal servant, loving servitor of the Supreme Spirit. So all those who are not understanding this message of Bhagavatam, they are all operating under a false ego. Real ego is servant of Krishna. So moment a pure devotee realizes that he is a servant of Krishna, or somebody who acts as a servant of the realized soul, as a servant of Krishna, becomes a servant of the pure devotee of the Lord, he is already liberated. His goal is only one thing: happiness, liberation. These are all consequences that will run behind him. His only desire is to engage in loving service of the Lord. So to become free from Maya, not only free from sense gratification, we should not care for. Once we understand that we are part and parcel of Krishna, one has to meditate. Part and parcel of Krishna, a servant has no anxiety, because he serves the Lord. He has no anxiety because the Lord takes care of everything that is required. And the Lord is only expecting from him service. The ingredients of the service, the circumstances of the service, all other requirements of service, intelligence, jnana, bhala, kriya. That's none of the, it is not a worry of the servant. Worry of the servant is to serve. That worry of the servant to serve always is bhakti. That is bhakti. Krishna provides everything. And he knows that, because it's very simple. Servant has only responsibility to serve. Master is a owner of everything, knower of everything. And this is not an ordinary master. The master of the universe, the Lord of the universe, the Lord of the material energy, Lord of the spiritual energy. And when I am wanting to serve him, it can be done only under his protection, under his guidance, under his provision. He provides everything. So that way the devotee is, that is how the devotee is free from all material desires, even in service of the Lord. He doesn't desire prosperity to serve the Lord. If prosperity is required to serve the Lord, then he will desire that. Just like we need resources to run a temple of the Lord. We want the temple to be prosper. So to have a desire to see that the temple prospers is not a material desire. We cannot become desireless. So many activities are going on as devotional service. So unless we desire that, oh, my Lord should be provided this, my Lord should be provided this, but ultimately you know that my effort is only to do the chesta, to go and serve, to engage in a service to get that whatever is required in the material world for service of the Lord. And in the process, the Lord provides. The Master is the one who ultimately provides everything. We should be ready to serve. So the Lord wants our service. What is prosperity? Energies, money, this thing, that thing, so many things. This prosperity. Good name. Oh, ISKCON. Oh, very good organization. Name. And we try to protect the image, name of the organization. So all this prosperity that we want to spread the message of the Supreme Lord, message of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and we desire these things, we know that we desire and we engage, put our efforts, whatever we have with our body, mind, everything, put our efforts. And because it is devotion service to Krishna, the internal energy of the Lord provides everything. Everything that is required. And that is a fact. So where is the devotees? Devotees' worry is not beyond. Devotees' worries are not beyond, thinking that Krishna is not in control. Krishna is the Supreme Lord. I am serving the Supreme Lord. If He gives something, I am happy. If He doesn't give something, I am happy. Why? Because He is in charge. If He is not giving something, He knows what is best. So this is another reason why the devotees are desireless in the material sense. They desire something, but it is left to the Lord, because He knows my desire is subordinate to the desire of the Lord. My duty is only to desire, to serve Him, and whatever resources are required, whatever intelligence is required for that, whatever I have, I will offer. That intelligence, that resource may not be sufficient to get the result. Does not matter. I do my duty to serve my Lord, to serve my Guru. And finally, He is the one. If the result comes, it is His decision. If the result doesn't come, doesn't matter. My service is service. Service is not only the result. The process of service, the process of trying to give the result to Krishna is also the first service. Then the result is second offering. You are happy if I get the result also. The devotee also has result in his mind, because he does not want to spare anything that he has in service of the Lord. Therefore, he has in the result. He has his eyes on the result. I have to give myself fully. But for some reason, Krishna doesn't want the result, doesn't matter. The devotee thinks that, okay, result has not come because I have not given my full mind, I have not surrendered to Him. And sees where he was lazy, where he did not do what he is supposed to do. His part, he will think about it. He will try to improve. Ultimately, it is not that if you fail in something, it is equal to you are not surrendered. You can be fully surrendered and yet fail. You can be spaced out and yet fail. You can be fully surrendered and be successful. You can be lazy and also be successful. So there is no connection. There is no connection. We simply have to execute our duties as a servant of the master, and everything is in the hands of the master. Master's reasons are complicated. Master's reasons cannot be understood. Why something he sanctions, why he does not sanction something? Inconceivable. Don't oversimplify the Lord's mind. He may have hundreds of reasons. You might have, let's say you go out to collect, you did all your best. You don't get result. Why? Because there are so many factors. You do all your best. But that person has to exercise his free will to give you the Lakshmi. Yes or no? So Lord does not push him also. Or you did not do your job properly. Therefore he was not inspired. All possibilities are there. Or you did your best, you tried to inspire him so much. But he is not ready to do that service. So the Lord doesn't sanction. Some devotion, some bhakti should be there, triggering. Preacher does what? Please serve the Lord. That's what he goes and tells. Now the person has to take a decision, I want to serve the Lord or not. If little desire is there in him to serve the Lord, then Lord will give him inspiration. Okay, do it. And sanction. So in the material world, any result, whether it is any result, is having unlimited factors. So it is foolish to think that only if I decide to create the result, it will come. Even in pure devotion service. The Lord has His infinite plan. The world is running according to Him. In every karmi's heart also He is seated inside and fulfilling his karmic desires. There is nothing in existence that is not out of control of the Lord. Even in the material world, not only in spiritual and material world also. The whole material world itself is a scheme of things to give living entities opportunity for their independent desires. Whole Maya energy is His energy, giving everybody an opportunity to identify themselves as a body and false ego and play their game. Each living entity is playing that game from birth to death. It is His arrangement. The world is not running for a purpose other than the Lord's purpose. Lord's purpose is to give an opportunity for His part and parcel if they want to have desires which are disconnected from Him. Or they have desire for independent existence. Independent existence means I am not part and parcel of Krishna. I have nothing to do with Krishna. The whole world, what is karmic consciousness? Who is Krishna? I am not connected to Krishna. And what is Krishna consciousness? Devotees consciousness. I cannot be separated from Krishna. You will look at the karmi and say, you also cannot be separated from Krishna. You are Amsha of Krishna. You cannot be separated. You are forgotten. Krishna is not forgotten. Still He is seated in your heart and is fulfilling all your desires. Of course, as you deserve, as per laws of karma, His law of karma. So, devotee has no desire, material desire, no desire to control things. These are all not the consciousness of a servant. A servant is never in the consciousness of a controller. He is in the consciousness of surrender. See, surrender bhavana is different, controller bhavana is different. In a situation where karmis try to control, there he tries to surrender to Krishna as a supreme controller. A karmi tries to control things. In the material world also, devotee sometimes needs to control a situation. But he surrenders to the supreme controller. He is Krishna conscious, not independent consciousness. Krishna conscious. And as far as whence the devotee surrenders to the lotus feet of the Lord, that happiness, that Krishna conscious happiness, that I am part of Krishna, He is my leader, He is my protector, He cares for me, He provides for me, He loves me. That is the taste of Charanashraya. Attached to the honey of His lotus feet. That honey is that consciousness of the sweet shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. That consciousness, that lotus feet of the Lord provides us that beautiful, sweet consciousness. So we started saying that unless one is satisfied by this, one will have material desires. So one way to stop material desire is not to stop the material desires, but to taste the higher desire. One way to protect yourself is not to panic, but to run to the Lord's lotus feet. Automatic protection is there. So for us, solution to all problems or no problems, solution, what is our happiness, everything is going to Krishna. So this is a reason why, how we can free ourselves from old conditioning of sense gratification, all these things. Only by tasting Krishna conscious happiness and pleasure of service. Krishna conscious happiness is a happiness of me not being this body, but I am servant of Krishna, taken care by the Master. Worryless, I have no worries. So that Krishna conscious happiness and pleasure. Pleasure is what? Activity. Activity of serving the Lord. So happiness and pleasure. Unless we fill our mind with Krishna conscious happiness and pleasure, it will run towards sense gratification, run towards puja, pratishtha, labha, dissatisfaction. You have to be satisfied. So devotee is always transcendentally satisfied. Transcendentally satisfied. So we have to feed our mind every day. Because mind is, or feed our mind with Krishna Katha, Krishna consciousness, that reminds us that you are a tiny amsha You don't have big responsibility. Your only responsibility to always surrender to Him. Always surrender to Him. That responsibility is there. I should not surrender to Maya, illusion, I should surrender to Him. He is the truth. He is the absolute truth. Thinking that I am this body means I have surrendered to Maya. So how I'll come out of this? By surrendering to Krishna as His servant. So a devotee always remains satisfied with the standard of comforts offered by the Lord. As stated in Ishopanishad, Tena Tektena Bhunjitaha. That saves time for executing Krishna consciousness. A devotee is not sitting and completely worrying about himself. What is my tomorrow? What will happen? All these kind of things. That means it's your Maya consciousness. If you have surrendered to Krishna, why don't you have confidence that Krishna will take care of my future? The opulence of a Vaishnava is that he does not think of his tomorrow. That is an opulence. That faith is his opulence. Karmis, what is their opulence? I got bank balance, I got property, I got children, they'll take care of me. This is their opulence. What is our opulence? How can you call it opulence? I have nothing. I don't think my parents will help me. I don't think my money will help me. I don't think anything of these things will help me. I have no dependence on them. I don't think of my tomorrow. Oh, that is opulence. If a karmi says, I don't think of my tomorrow, neither is Krishna conscious, then you can say he's foolish. Better you think about how you will earn your money, or what will happen to your life, all you think. But for a devotee, he is saying the same thing. I don't think of my tomorrow. There is reason. Because the Lord takes care of me. I am in the hands of the Lord. I am in the hands of Guru and Krishna. Absolutely, I have no worry. Name bhakta pranashyati. My devotees will never be let down. This is a promise of Krishna. So all these insecurities, devotees have zero insecurity in life. Zero. Because they have full faith in the Charanashraya, on the shelter that he receives from the lotus feet of the Lord. And he only concerned with executing devotion service every moment. Get up in the morning, do my service, sleep. Get up in the morning, do my service, sleep. No chinta. Blissful, contented. It's very important to keep the mind contented. The mind is disturbed by material circumstances, it will lead to sense gratification. Now, how to remain contented? That is taking shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord for everything. When we have problems, we run to our mind, how to solve the problem. Instead, when you have a problem, you run to Krishna first. And then whatever is required will come in the mind to solve. Mind is all an instrument. Mind, intelligence, these are all medium. Intelligence is not intelligence doesn't solve any problem. Krishna solves problems. Even for karmis. According to their karma, the intelligence comes. Intelligence is a medium. How to do something. Everything is sanctioned by the super soul, even for karmis. Any questions?
Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Devotees have zero insecurities in life. These might be the case for devotees like Prahlad Maharaj or Haridas Thakur. But what if devotees like me, mixed devotional service? Can I see with that zero insecurity in life? Be difficult because I am contaminated. That's an open secret.
You see, we can also practice zero insecurity. Now, zero insecurity doesn't mean that you don't do your duty. Somebody tells you, you're eating so much, you're becoming obese, you will have problems in future. Somebody tells you. Now, something about future he is telling. You will get problems. Now the devotee, how he can respond two ways. I have no insecurity, I'll go on eating. Nothing will happen to me. Right? Another thing he can do is, I have no insecurity because just see Krishna is taking care of me. He is telling through this devotee, don't eat like this. You will end up with diabetes. So how you see each situation, the Lord's hands are working to create this sense of security. So beyond all our material calculation is the shelter of the Lord. So Krishna gives intelligence, instructions. Just like let us say, we say, we don't have any insecurity. How the temple will run tomorrow. So I won't go and do my duty. I don't go out and preach. That is not the application I have known. After doing whatever I can, I have my duty towards my body. I have to give this much hours of sleep. So do your duty and don't be insecure. This is important. Do your duty and don't be insecure. While doing your duty, you don't do your duty because of insecurity. This is very important. There is no feeling of insecurity even while doing the duty. Moment you feel material insecurity, then you think that I am creating my own security by my acts. No, you are just executing your duty. There are duties. When you have a body, when you are in the material world, there are certain duties. Even devotees have duties towards their body. The duty is to regulate eating, sleeping, mating, defending, duties. Over and above that, Lord has a purpose for whatever is happening. I do my duty. That's all. Don't do your duty out of anxiety of the duty I have to do. Not out of anxiety. If I do the duty, that will protect me. Krishna will protect me. Many times I don't do my duty also, he protects me. But I have to follow the order, I have to do my duty. So, these two things you have to... Duty is for the material part. And your anxiety free is for your spirit. The spirit is always anxiety free. zero insecurity. So whatever you have to do in this material world, whether we go out for collection or whether we take care of our health, all these things, whatever we do, or our old age, whatever, everything that we do, it has to be done without, thinking that will secure me. Krishna will secure me. In fact, duty is devotional service. So execute devotional service and have full faith that Krishna will protect me. Krishna will take care of me. Nice prasadam comes before you. You have to at least do your duty of taking and putting in your mouth. No, I have no anxiety. I don't have to eat also. Krishna is providing, now you at least have to pick up and eat. That's duty. Prabhupada gives example of lion, the king of the forest. There is a lion, if he simply keeps his mouth open, animals will come and fall. Even lion has to do something. He will succeed, but he is given the power to succeed. He will go and catch any animal. So Krishna protects us, Krishna takes care of us, but we have to do our duty. It is through our devotion service that all these things comes. So just because we have to do something to secure ourselves, to an outsider it will look like you have to secure yourself. Oh, a devotee is also securing himself. But he is securing himself as a duty, is not out of any feeling. Not out of any feeling. He has no attachment to those things. He knows nothing in the material world can protect you. He knows nothing in the material world can secure me. Only Krishna can secure me. Krishna's lotus feet, shelter the lotus feet of Krishna can secure me. That feeling, what is the difficulty? Why can't we do it? Anybody can do, no? Your question is answered. Anybody can do. It is that sense of, that internal sense of faith that the Lord will protect me. Not that, you have to become a pure devotee for that. We have to practice this. In fact, it is a great opportunity for devotees who have joined full time. It's a great opulence. Already they are in that, enjoying that opulence. The moment that full-time devotee starts thinking what will happen to my old age, then he stops becoming a full-time devotee in the mind. Anxiety has begun. Devotees, when they join Sarvadharman Parityaj, afterwards they start thinking, did I make a mistake? What will happen to my old age? What will happen to this? What will happen to this? So many things, so many questions will come. Don't lose that opulence. Don't you lose that, the opulence that you had when you surrendered to Prabhupada. That is a great wealth. Don't lose that. Moment you lose that, we start becoming karmis. Karmi consciousness starts coming. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।